We are live. I'm recording, by the way.
Kind of got that from the whole live thing there. So let's do this. We're gonna have some fun, everybody. So we're playing around with our name a little bit for our podcast. This is episode 12.
Yeah, 12. It is episode 12.
Just finished our investment series, so hope you guys all enjoyed that. And yeah, today I'm celebrating my 12-year anniversary in real estate today.
Wow, big deal. Hoot hoot.
I did my RICO update over the last couple days. That was a pain in the butt. So just for you guys all out there doing your RICO update every couple of years. So every 2 years, us realtors, we have to do. And the courses, I was really impressed with the curriculum, the online kind of structure. So really glad I got that out of the way, Andrew.
Yeah, I had to do mine last year, I think it was. And it's long, arduous, can be pretty dry, but you're right. Like the content over the last, decade has certainly gotten a little bit better and a little more engaging. And there's like you said, there's kind of better content there, and hopefully just keep moving to the point where it's all fine and well to make us sit in front of a computer for basically, I don't know, 4 hours a day for a week kind of thing, but we need to see all that stuff kind of actually been put into practice and monitored, so to speak, and enforced.
It was a great reminder of the responsibility that we have, our due diligence, the fairness, the honesty of everything that we need to do with taking care of our clients, and also how fortunate we are to have the job that we have, right? For representing our clients and taking good care of them when helping them buy and sell a house, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Shout out to Ryan and Sylvia. Last night we sold their house, had 8 offers on it. It was, we got basically exactly what they were expecting, or I shouldn't say expecting, but hoping for, which admittedly I thought was going to be a little bit high. I was trying to pull them back to what I was going to say was reality, which it wasn't too far off, but we were talking about like maybe a $25,000 spread between what I thought was reasonable and what their hopes and dreams were. And we ended up pegging their hopes and dreams. So, yeah, super, super happy for them. Really excited. And there's a lot of emotions going around last night as they move to their next chapter of their life. So it is, like you said, we're very fortunate to be in the industry that we're in and be able to work with some amazing, amazing people and help them, navigate this, this challenging kind of like the real estate world and moving from kind of one chapter of their lives to another. So you're right.
That is the most rewarding part of our job. I can see you've got like a little afterglow there from, the rush of helping your clients, do really well in the sale of a home or getting their dream home. There's nothing more rewarding. I mean, you think about all the paperwork, all the things that we do behind the scenes. You and I were talking before the show started about how we're very fortunate to have the teams that we do, because there's just so many things that need to be done to help facilitate just buying and selling a home, right? It's not just putting up a sign, right? Or it's not just showing a house.
Oh, absolutely. It certainly is not just putting up a sign, though. From the outside, I suppose maybe the perception seems like that's all it is, right? There's so much that happens behind the scenes that people just don't understand, and you gotta look for. You gotta look around. You gotta have a good understanding of the differences between top producing agents and why they do so well, right? And what the average is, and heck, what if you want to pay someone to stick a sign on the lawn, well, go ahead, pay someone to stick a sign on the lawn, but don't have expectations that are much higher than that, right? So
no, and what I've realized more now than ever, it's the relationships. It's being so lucky to have the amazing clients we have, our friends, our family, the relationship you and I are building through this. It's all about taking care of people and the power of just having all of those amazing relationships that help us through. There's so many different hats that need to be worn between your tradespeople. I brought 2 or 3 tradespeople into the home we're putting on the market tomorrow. Our stager, you know, like dealing with, stagers dealing with people like in her family that have COVID. So
Yeah.
you know, now it's like, okay, she's telling me what to do through the phone. So we have to do compromise. There's a lot of moving parts, and we're really in the profession of problem solving. If you think about it, what we're really doing is doing. There's all these little incidences, all these little things that come up on a regular basis, and no sale or buy is ever the same. It's a different case study every time. And with our experience and what we learn and share from one another, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. So chatting about, buying and selling houses, pretty good segue, I think, to talk about, Halton as a whole and why it's amazing to live here, right? So we were chatting beforehand just about some of the topics that we wanted to cover. And the one that we both kind of, gravitated towards was all of our favorite areas within Halton, right? The things to do, like, yeah, okay, so whether you don't live in Halton, you're thinking, you know what, I might be moving out west a little bit more, and you're wondering what there is to do out here. Or if you do live in Halton, you've only been here for a short time, you're still getting to know the neighborhood. Or you've been here for a long time and you just want somebody else's, perspective. It's like, you kind of have your go-tos and you jump online looking for some reviews and recommendations of something new. And so maybe we can bring you some of that as well.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I think Ontario gets a pretty bad rap from the rest of Canada in terms of things to do, right? You know, people will call us Ontariable from out there. But I think for the most part, we are the heart of Canada. We've got a lot to offer. And, having grown up in Oakville and lived in Burlington the last 17, 18 years of my life, there's nowhere else that I would rather want to be. The people, the community, the structure. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of affluence. There's a lot of hustle, bustle. I would argue there's that fine line between capitalism and socialism. But in terms of, there's just so many amazing people in our community, and, sharing and building. And as we grow as people, I'm really excited to become, to get more involved with some of the leaders in our community. Right. So.
Yeah. So what do you said that you did grow up in Oakville. I've been living in Burlington for a long time. So let me ask you what think going back to your childhood, right? What are your biggest memories of, being in the area, as a kid or a teenager, right? So a young buck in his 20s, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, going back to those days, I'm talking about the 20s. I think I'll go back a little bit younger. I think of all the amazing, I think of school, and I think of obviously all the amazing coaches I had. I was a sports nut, right? So I had some amazing coaches out there. Shout out to my chiropractor, Dr. Zach, who I go golfing with now, and he takes care of all my ailments. I used to play for the Oakville A's, so I think of my bike rides up to all the different parks for practice. Playing tennis every day. I was blessed enough to be a member of the Oakville Club, very prestigious club. So I'd play squash and badminton competitively there. So, having Bruce Croft was my coach then when I was competitive, used to play for Ontario as a junior for badminton. So that was an amazing experience. The bike rides, I think of bike riding with my buddies from Southeast Oakville all the way to Brawny, right? Our days down at Garlock Gardens, and just kind of those experiences, all these cool parks and amazing areas that you could go to. Lawson Tennis Park just down at the bottom of the street there. And then I think you get more into your teens and into your 20s, you start to think more about like the hangout spots. I think anybody in their similar age as me thinks of Sharky's. Sharky's was an amazing, these places no longer exist, everybody, but they're just good shout outs to Sharky's, the Corner Pocket. At the time, I had some thinking out to all my buddies out there. I know we're older now, but we had some amazing memories just at those spots, right? More of the prime of your life. And just
can I jump in and these are pool halls, Sharky's and Corner Pocket or whatever?
Sharky's was like a 3-level tiered bar overlooking 16 Mile Creek in Lake Ontario.
Oh, cool.
And so you'd have like your beautiful outside patio, you'd have tier decks outside where you could all hang out and drink, pool tables inside, dance tables. Sharky's was Corner Pocket was more of a pool hall. I used to work there. I bartended. I worked in the kitchen, so I helped open and close that place sometimes. But no, like I guess the experience of growing up in Oakville, being able to walk down to like midnight madness, right? It'd have these beautiful midnight madnesses. This was when you were younger, more in your teens and your 20s. So they'd have cool festivals. Jazz Festival became a thing. The Waterfront Festival. So they'd have that at Coronation Park and all the different parks. So it was just a really great place to grow up as a family. Like thinking of Oakville, Burlington now, as I'm a little bit older, I don't have a family, but I wouldn't think of a better place to raise a family, right? So it's beautiful parks, like these trails, like the places I love to go. Like I love to go down to Hamilton, Burlington Beach, go for those long, beautiful bike rides. Just yesterday, I went for a hike. I'm tangents, but I went for a hike with my girlfriend up into Halton Hills, and that was a wonderful afternoon. So we're only a 20-minute drive to some of the most beautiful hiking places in all of town, right? One of the things I'm really missing during the pandemic is my yoga studio. I think everyone I talk to, I complain about that at some point. So a shout out to Moto Yoga. It keeps my mind and my body fueled. So so I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but painting a picture for how blessed I was to grow up in Oakville, the community, the leaders, my teachers. I had some of the most amazing teachers. Thank you guys, everyone, for inspiring me, for putting a lot of time into a kid that had some ADD. But
what kid doesn't have ADD, man? Like, I think we all did. It just nobody knew.
Yeah, well, no, thank you for letting me share that, Andrew. It's I'm very blessed to have been brought up in Halton and in Oakville, Burlington. And tell me a little bit about your experiences in Milton, and a little bit for everyone to get a chance from your perspective as well too.
Yeah, well, so I didn't grow up in Milton, so I don't have the memories. I actually grew up in Kingston, Ontario. So somewhat different lifestyle, of course, but it's a beautiful city there. But I see, the older areas of Milton, I see a lot of similarities to some of the neighborhoods that I grew up in, right? So, if I look at, again, some of the older areas of Milton, I look at Dorset Park and Timberley, Bronte Meadows, right? These are the areas that were, developed in the, early 50s, 60s, and then, 70s, and then into the 80s and potentially early 90s. You can see kind of just the way that developments were laid out was much different back then. Tons of cul-de-sacs and, backyard parks and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, it very much reminds me of my childhood, the kind of, like, I'd say the kind of streets that, you and I would have grown up riding your bikes with, like, the card in your spokes so that it sounded like, the worst motorcycle sound ever, or the little blinker things on your spokes, or whatever the case may be. And then having, going to Max and grabbing a slushie or, popsicle or something like that, or Freezy. Having those older neighborhoods where you have those kind of things still there versus it being a big, corner plaza that you would go to that just kind of, I don't know, kind of makes you, worried about just the amount of traffic and people bombing in and bombing out of those areas. Right. So, Milton's a great place to raise a family. And you can see that so many people agree, given that Milton's, again, one of the fastest growing communities in Canada. And there's still, lots of growth on the horizon. But, so we've been here since 2007 is when we moved to Milton, right? So we've been here for a fair amount of time. And we're, started a family here, right? So we've got 3 young kids. Tuesday was 2 days ago was my youngest son's 9th birthday. Can't believe he's 9 already, which is kind of crazy, but yeah, just, things to do with them. We love all the parks around, of course, the outdoor parks, et cetera, that are around, but all the conservation areas as well. going for hikes, just getting outside, getting into the wilderness a little bit. And some of them just go for like, I don't know, like 50 kilometers or something like that. Just go and go and go and go and go. Right. And so, you can, if you want to just pack a lunch and just go for a nice hike and just enjoy being outside, and you watch the kids just running through the trees and climbing, some deadfall or something like that, and just exploring and just being kids again. It's so easy, especially with COVID and everything's locked down, just to kind of like, they get stuck on an iPad or, in front of a screen of some sort, for endless hours. And you just want them to get out. Right. And so those are good areas just to kind of get out, be away from people, et cetera. Right. But yeah, there's, of course, just being with COVID, everything being locked down, it can be a struggle. Well, I shouldn't say it can be, it's a struggle for everybody. But, people that love, they're looking to maybe get outside of the city, are looking to start a family, start, different chapter of their lives, and are looking at, Milton or Halton as a whole as their new home. We've got, I'm going to be putting myself on the spot here, but it's 6 or 7 conservation areas, right? Just right in around Halton, and, 20 minutes away. And you got all of these awesome conservation areas, which have, programs run through, Conservation Halton. Of course, Kelso Lake and Glen Eden Ski Hill is the kind of the local ski hill for the area until you want to get up to Blue Mountain. It's kind of small, kind of just runs down the side of the escarpment, but at the same time, it's something that's literally, in your backyard that you can just shoot over to, rather than it being like an hour drive and packing everything up. And it's, it's a big haul to go somewhere. Right. So, we love the area, love the little neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff. Things to do with the family. Right.
We're so lucky that all the parks opened back up. I think of like Brawny Creek Provincial Park, Lions Valley in Oakville. I mean, these are in our backyard, right? And and we can talk about that. Hamilton has some of the most beautiful trails in all of Ontario. I won't say Canada, but there's all these beautiful waterfalls and everything that you can go and explore. So and if you are further east and you're looking to come west, like, that's something I would suggest doing for families now that the parks have opened up. At least you can take advantage of going out and looking at some of these amazing parks. And you and I were talking before the show started about Spencer Smith Park down in Burlington. Oakville's got Coronation Park, and I love Garlock Gardens, which is a smaller park just in southeast Oakville, closer to the border of Mississauga. So you've got all these wonderful parks. And then if you're down at Spencer Smith, I'll take the trail that'll go literally from North Burlington all the way down through the center of the grid, and it'll take you right down. You can take the waterway all the way. You could go to Niagara Falls, but a lot of the times I'll take my bike ride to Stony Creek and back. And it's great to see all the life there. So we're really, really blessed. Guys, this is the R&B Real Estate Show. We are your rambling realtors. And today's episode, we're talking a little bit about, going west and some of the advantages of obviously some of the great things that we have to offer out here. I like to think our intro kind of talked a lot about them leading into it. But no, we want to share with you and give you some great ideas here. So, if you are interested in learning more about what has to offer, you could go to either one of our websites and you could share with us. We also offer tours as well too, if you ever want to just go out and explore. But go with your family and explore over a weekend and kind of see all the space, everything that we do have to offer out here a little bit further west from the city.
Yeah, it certainly is a great area to be in, and not to say that other parts of the GTA don't have their own little little gems, etc. But for those that haven't maybe decided to move to the West End just yet, or like I said earlier, just moved here and are looking for some additional insight into what people have been doing and all that kind of stuff. It's we're hoping to try to give back a little bit, share some of the things that we enjoy, and maybe we get some comments below and get some feedback as well of what other people are enjoying. you know, what their favorite spots are that maybe we haven't had an opportunity to explore just yet or getting into, right? There's always new businesses popping up or new ideas here and there. I was actually reading about, I'm going to give a quasi shout out here because I actually haven't even tried it myself, but there's a new cinnamon roll place in Milton called, I think it's called On a Roll or something like that. And I was on their Instagram, and they do all kinds of crazy cinnamon buns, right? So, you know, different toppings, kind of like the spin on like cupcakes nowadays, right? Or donuts, or like you got all these kind of crazy flavors and crazy toppings, et cetera. And so these people have done it with cinnamon rolls, and so far what I've been reading, everybody loves them. They look phenomenal. I'm not exactly sure where they're located. I was looking for an address and I didn't find one. I was going to give them a shout, but there's stuff like that, right? New businesses that pop up that people, you know, are enjoying and want to spread the word to a location, to, you know, heck, maybe it's like, you know, there's Milton, there's a Facebook club called Milton Off-Road, right? So, you know, guys that have like Jeeps and 4x4s that want to get together and they want to go off-roading, and, stuff like that, right? Just areas that you can do that, right? And so there's a few areas in and around Milton that guys will just get together, and girls, of course, get together with their trucks and Jeeps and go head off somewhere together and go get dirty, you know? So, you know, I know, I'm pretty sure you're an avid cyclist, right? I mean, we talk about like walking trails and running trails, the nice paved stuff down by the waterfront, which again, we were down there just the other day along the downtown Burlington, along the, I should say newly, it was done in 2013, but newly redeveloped waterfront all along there. It's beautiful. And the path, the paved path goes forever. So yeah, grab a bicycle and go down there. But for those that like the trail riding a little bit better, there's tons of trails through the conservation areas, right? And some that'll take you in by Hilton Falls up here in Milton. And a lot of trails will connect to the Bruce Trail. If you're into like some like hardcore long distance stuff, it'll take you all the way up to Tobermory, right? It's I don't know, it's got a record somewhere. I'm going to butcher this, but it's something like one of the world's longest, like, you know, trails, or at least Canada's longest trail or something like that, right? It goes for hundreds of kilometers, basically from Tobermory down to Niagara Falls or something like that, right? So some people that are into that just getting out there, there's tons and tons and tons of things to do outside and in and around Halton. Yeah. What are your favorite areas? I mean, you'll know Burlington a little bit better than I would, but like think of like some of like, I don't know, the Butterfly Conservatory or whatever it is. No, it's the Botanical Gardens that's down there, right?
Like Botanical Gardens is great, and that's another wonderful place that you can just go for.
Get lost in.
You totally can get lost in, and it's a great place to take your children when it's open for all the exhibits as well too. So if they want to learn about insects or spiders or snakes or whatever they've got going on, it's a great little field trip right in your backyard, and it's nicely. I mean, I've taken my nephews to a few little things there, so they've got some great little shows they put on, performances, and it's a beautiful place to kind of tour down there as well too. No, I think of the trails. I mean, for me, it's more like I said, the waterfront, like even going for a beautiful walk down by the pier where you were describing, and like the community sense. They've got lots of the festivals on. So they got Rib Fest, Music Festival, which is, the Sound of Music, which is an amazing annual event that Burlington hosts. I think like part of the reason when you and I first talked about the show, it was about giving back, and whether it's for supporting local businesses or if it's just giving a chance to come and explore. I mean, you called me the other day saying, hey, where's a couple good places to go out for a bite to eat? And I was actually biking at that time, just on the Burlington beach side before I was going over to Hamilton, right, down in just past Spencer Smith Park. So I don't think my suggestions were the greatest at that time, but I was
yeah,
like,
we made it. We made a good night out of it. We made a good night out of it, and it was really like, I not that I don't like all the Milton restaurants and all that kind of stuff, but we were just one day we're like, hey, let's go down to Burlington and walk the waterfront. So we were going to be down there already, and it was, listen, you live right. That's your backyard. Is there anything that you are like, yeah, you got to try this place? Because it's all fine and well to say, okay, the chains, right? You're going to say like all the Cara Foods, right? All the Harveys and Swiss Chalets and Kelsey's and like all those chains. Okay. Hey, I'm not going to go to a different city just to try the exact same food that I can eat at home. We were looking to, try something different, right? A one-off shop that's got a great reputation and et cetera. And so yeah, we just thought, is there anything great? And you gave us some great recommendations. We were flipping through, and you're right. I mean, you don't not the type of restaurants that you necessarily want to go to for takeout.
Yeah.
Right. I could very much see the recommendations that you gave me. That would have been great if we could have had the opportunity to dine in, and we certainly will do that. But we still had a great night out of it. We did grab some takeout. We did the what's it called, the Pump House or something like that on
Pump on Brant there.
Pump on Brant, right? Which I forgot as I drove by. I'm like, oh, I've been here before. Yeah. It was like 10 years ago. Went in there with some buddies. But yeah, great food. And I took some takeout, and then we went down to the waterfront and parked in a parking lot and popped the hatch of the back of the Tesla and had like an impromptu picnic just down at the waterfront. Right. So, even with COVID, everything locked down, yeah, you can still do something, have a little outing, whatever. And, and then a few days later, we ended up taking the kids down there, same place, and just walked the waterfront, and they just ran around in the fields and, played in the sand a little bit and, had some fun.
I mean, we can look at the blessings that have happened over the last year or two, where we don't take things for granted. We look at like just a lot more people are getting outside, right? And, just being able to go on those trails, to go for a bike ride, to hang out more with your family. I mean, there's a lot of blessings that have happened from this, and appreciation more for looking forward to going out and having those celebrations of life. Like I have this one beautiful couple. They were supposed to get married this year. Shout out to Andrew and Samantha. And I helped them buy a house in South Burlington here on Bennett. And, I think about like if they had waited until next year, which was their original plan, they might have gotten priced out in terms of the home they got. So that's one of the blessings that you can say is like, just looking at it from, a lot of things have been put on hold, but an appreciation for what we have, the community that we have. I feel so blessed where I live, and I know you do as well too. So we're really all just so fortunate to have the people and the community that we have is second to nowhere. So.
Yeah, we certainly a bit of a bias being on the west side here. I know, I know that we're probably not the best place to be, but that's subjective, right? I mean, we certainly love it. There's always talks and fantasies, and that'll be another show about where you're going to go, right? But yeah, we certainly love it here, and like I said, blessed to have some great, surrounded by some great municipalities, being a great region, right? Halton region is wonderful, and have all these things close by. Of course, when you want to go into the city, downtown Toronto for us is, depending on the traffic, 30-40 minutes away. You guys have all day go, so you could always just hop on the GO train and shoot into the city if you want to.
Faster.
What's that? And only get faster. If you want to, like you said, going for a nice long bike ride, and something that I didn't really realize until, I guess it was many years ago now, but it seems like I didn't know it for the longest time, is that the Burlington Sky Bridge, there's actually a road underneath it, right? So yeah, you can ride your bike. You don't have to ride up over the bridge, which, some people might think, I don't want to take the bridge, ride my bike over that huge bridge. You can just down on ground level, you can ride underneath that, right? And like you said, take your bike, go for a long bike ride all the way down into Stony Creek, like you said, right? So for those people that are, you know, bicycle enthusiasts and you know, want to go for a nice long haul, yeah, totally doable pretty easily.
Yeah, like you said, you could go all the way to Niagara Falls if you really wanted to. I mean, they have the Conquer Cancer ride, which I mean, that goes basically from Toronto to Niagara Falls.
Right.
So I can't say I've done it, but I know a lot of people who have, and I think that's amazing that we've got these trails. And like you mentioned, the Bruce Trail is one of the longest trails in the world, where we've got all this amazing right in our backyard, right? So I think we have like, it might be like most water places in, I definitely Canada, but there's tons and tons of waterfalls as well too, that Hamilton has.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is all right here on the west side.
Right here on the west side, and it too can be yours, or maybe it is yours, and you just haven't cracked that open just yet.
Yours to discover, right? Everybody, Ontario, yours to discover.
Not anymore, isn't it? Open for business. What's on the license plate nowadays?
Oh no. Okay. I don't know.
It used to be yours to discover, okay. And then Ford decided that he needed to change it up a little bit, right? Put his sticker on it. I don't even know what the new license plate says.
No. Well, that makes two of us.
I'm gonna Google that right now if I can even get a picture of it. Yeah, there's the old ones. Oh, A Place to Grow is the new stuff.
A Place to Grow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I suppose you can grow. Yeah, discover and grow. We'll call it that.
As long as that's not like our population over the next 10, 15 years, right? That's probably what that means. A place
to grow.
Yeah.
I think it was probably it was the business swing, right? Because his big thing was, now that he got into office, it was, you know, Ontario is now open for business, because before it was closed for business, and now you can come and you can grow your business in Ontario.
That's one of the things that you can do. Premier, you're allowed to actually just change the license plate slogan when you get into that position.
Yeah, why do you gonna run for office so you can change it up?
No. I was just curious to know if that's actually something you can like. Yeah, I'd feel as like Canadians, don't we get to vote on that?
No, I guess there's certain things you just get handed to you. Here you go.
Stamp on everybody's plate.
That's right. And for the longest time, I didn't understand what, like, I'm looking at the license plate now, right? So it's a dark blue with a lighter, still dark blue, kind of just like angle on it. I'm like, what is this thing? And it's the top right hand corner of the trillium leaf. Right, because you know, like the Ontario logo is the trillium flower, right? And so it's the top right hand corner of that, which I'm just like, okay, that's kind of dumb. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not a Ford hater, I'm not a Ford lover. I'm kind of like, you know, impartial. I think every level of politics has you know, their pros and cons, but I think that we probably could have spent our money somewhere else a little bit better than that. But anyways, whatever. It is what it is.
On a side note, when I went hiking yesterday, I saw some beautiful white trilliums, and also there was a couple purple trilliums. So shout out to Caitlin, who was hiking with me yesterday. That was nice to see right here in our backyard, right?
I didn't even know there was a purple trillium.
Yeah. So they're blooming right now, people. So all the more reason to go out and look at your Ontario flower in bloom.
There you go. Get up there in bloom. That's a Nirvana song too.
Nice. A little teen spirit coming on. Well, we already had that earlier in the show, right? So,
that's right. All right. Well, that's probably it, I suppose, for today's show, as we kind of talked about some of the areas. I mean, we could dive down super deep into stuff, but it is a little bit challenging with COVID. Things are locked down, so maybe future episodes we'll start having some local businesses on as guests to kind of talk about what they're doing. You know, get back out there and support the local businesses, because ultimately, you know, without our local small businesses, I think any community is going to be struggling for stuff to do, for growth, for opportunity, et cetera, right?
Yeah, no, and I love what you just said there, like in terms of growth. And obviously this is an opportunity for us to all dream and just to come together during these difficult times. So again, thank you for yet another episode here with us rambling realtors. We definitely did some rambling today, as we always do out here in the west side of the GTA. I'm here with Andrew Roach. I'm Ross Bridges. We are the R&B Real Estate Show.
Thanks for listening.